let's talk about the new theory or concept of a hub site. Now, in earlier editions of SharePoint, both online and on-premise, individuals could create a hierarchy of parent and child, and different components from the child, i.e., normally calendars or tasks, could roll up to a summary within the parent. When we moved to the new look and feel for SharePoint Online, we can still do that with team sites, and then every other department or location would have a team site, and they could roll up to the parent. That is the concept here with a hub, but a hub will do things automatically. With the previous version, you would have to actually configure the links across the top. You would have to configure the web parts. When we designate a new hub site, that's not necessarily what we have to do. Now let's start this off by looking at this brand new communication site. And this is how it was constructed. It is a top-level site within our organization. Now, if I come over here to the gear or the cog and open this up and look at site information, notice there is an entry here for hub site with no drop down and no option. Now, you do have to plan this. I'm going to close this. And I am going to go into the Administration Center for my Office 365. Some of you may not have access to this, so you will have to contact your IT. Now I'm going to use the waffle, and I'm going to go to Admin. Now when this opens up, I am going to use the navigation on the left-hand side to actually go down to the Admin Center. So all the way down in the SharePoint Admin Center. This will take a moment. Now, you may or may not see exactly this. It depends on whether you are using the previous or the older version of the SharePoint Online, or it's called the Classic, or whether you have moved to the brand new interface. Now we are going to go to Active Sites. And I have several active sites here. The one that I'm looking to become the new hub site is this communication site, which is a top level. And notice I have this hub option. I'm going to use the drop down, and I'm going to register this site as a hub. I'm going to wait just a moment. And what is the navigation for this called? I'm going to just call it Central Communication. And who can associate sites with this hub? So in other words, what site owner or owners can actually go into their site and add as a hub this established link? So I do have several people within this organization. So I'm going to say that this user, and I could establish a group, but this user will have the ability to do this. And I'm going to save that. And it is updated. Now, could I add a secondary? Well, I have the site, and notice I now can edit or unregister. I am going to choose to edit, and I could add a second person. And save that. As I say, I could use a group instead. Alrighty. Now, we are going to go to the communication site, and I'm just going to click the hyperlink here. And again, here we are. Now from here, I can either go to the cog or the gear, or site contents. I'm going to choose to go to site contents. And I'm going to go to subsites. And notice it has none yet. So I am going to select new subsite. And I'm going to give this a name. And this one is our sales. And I'm just going to say sales. Now it is going to be a standard team site, which is going to be the classic experience because our salespeople were familiar with the legacy and we want to offer them the same type of interaction. And notice it does give us an explanation. And we're going to scroll down and we are going to do all these options for the navigation. And we're going to create that. Now, once this populates, we are going to establish the connection to the hub. So this is the classic look and feel. And I'm going to come over here to the cog. And notice this time, because this is the classic, I do not have the option under site information to actually add it as a child or a contributor to the hub. So let's do another one. I am going to go back to the original communication site. This will take a moment. And I am going to do another one. I am going to go to subsites. And there's the sales one, which is the classic. Now let's do the second one. And the second one is going to just be called research. And then the name. And this one is going to be the standard new team site. And I'm going to scroll down and I am going to select all three of these options. It will save some work later on. And there's the new look and feel. And now, if I come up to the cog or the gear and go to my site information, I can have a hub site association. Now, we are going to return to the admin center. And I'm going to refresh. And what I should see is I have some more sites. Now, notice what I have here. I have a central communication hub site, and notice it has some uniqueness here as far as the primary admin goes. And I can filter and see different options. Now, as I said, we have a classic, which was just the sales department, and we have the research. And just briefly, site information, hub site association, and it is unavailable. Let's go to sales. And there's different ways of getting here. Notice there is a hyperlink here to sales. Now we did construct that. And here we have no facility for site information and linking. Now when we pause, we were at the admin center and we had selected this one and we had established as a hub. Now I am going to sit here instead of going within the communication site. I'm going to create another site as a communication site, and we're going to give it a name. International branch. And who is going to own it? And it is going to be the trainer. And for some reason, that's not coming up. There it is. And the language is fine. And then, oh, excuse me. And we just lost it. I will do that one again. And the site owner. the language, and let's finish that up. Now it's going to appear as a list of active sites. And here it is. Now with this selected, hub, associate with a hub. And then it will only show the ones that we have designated. And let's save that. So the first part of the exercise was to establish the communication site as a hub. Then I went into that site and I did 2 individual subsites. So there is a cascading down from the communication site all the way down to the child sites. But that's the old way of doing things. Now we have an international site, and the communication site is its hub site. So let's go and open it. And of course it is the new interface. And we're going to come to the gear and site information and notice the hub site. So now when things are done at the communication site, that's going to cascade down. And when things are done at the others, they can theoretically feed up. Now I think you will notice we did go in from here to Sites International, and Central Communication was our hub. When I go to International, the sub-departments or sub-sites and the home for my hub cascade down. Let's actually go to Central Communication, which is the hub. We'll wait a second and notice we get them the same way. So there is a cascade element within all of this.